What's going on, guys? Hudi here with Level Up Gaming, and in this video we're going to take a look at how the Sentinels set themselves up on a default on split to attack with the greatest advantage possible, how they run that default, why they're successful on attacking from this default, and how you could potentially recreate something like this yourself in your ranked matches or in your custom scrims. So let's get right into it. As you can see, the Sentinels have started setting up their default early as the round's about to start. They've got Cypher over here towards A, they've got Omen and Raze playing mid, and they've got Jet and Sage playing towards B main. If you pay close attention, you'll notice that the Immortals have set up with 2 on B, 1 in mid, and 2 on A. Now they've set up multiple different ways in this half. They've stacked B, they've stacked mid. So like the setups that they're running haven't been the exact same the whole time. So the Sentinels may, they may not know exactly how the Immortals are going to set up here. And so the goal of this default is to figure out what this setup is like and get as much information as possible. Let's see how they do that. So the first thing I want to point out is the utility usage. Sage actually throws a slow orb into B main early from their spawn. This is just in case anybody from the Immortals wants to push up and go for a pick here. They can't do so safely now. It's going to be very hard for them to get in, take the angle, take the fight, and then fall back. The other thing that you need to watch out for, might be hard to see here, is that Cypher has actually thrown a cage to block off the cross to ramps and a cage to block off ramps. This is really important because the Immortals don't know. They know Sage is by B, they know now Cypher is by A. They don't know who's mid or if anybody's mid, because look at their mid setup. They have a cam in male looking this way. It can't see into mid, and they have tripwires in ropes and in top of male. So they have virtually zero information in mid, despite maybe Cypher hearing some sound while he's on his camera. So Cypher on attack over here has taken away the information on the A bomb site. So how are the defenders going to counter that? Well, Sova uses his drone. And if you watch closely, it's hard to see, but the drone actually flies up here and tags Dapper, the Cypher, but Cypher takes it out immediately. This is really important. Sova doesn't get to fly around and see if anybody else is there. He sees Cypher, he tags Cypher, and then it's dead. There could be 3 other players there and he would have no idea. Also, Raze peeking this gets no information as well because she's caged off. Cypher falls back, fakes like he's running away, and then slowly walks back to the A bomb site. And now how are the Immortals going to respond for information? They don't really do so. You can see Raze jiggle peeking B heaven, trying to play some information, show a little presence towards mid, probably giving off some audio cues, making the Immortals think about mid a little bit, but they're playing to sites. And so the Sentinels have decided what they're going to do is try to draw out as much utility as they possibly can. They have all of the map control. The Immortals literally have zero map control. They have no control over mid. The information they get about a push towards mid is going to be pretty late, either while they're pushing into male, meaning nobody can come back up this Cypher in time, or after they're already in ropes, meaning it's going to be very hard for anybody to back up this Raze, right? They don't have any early information gain. Sova's not used his dart, at least not effectively yet. So what the Sentinels are doing is they know Sage is towards B. So all they're doing is popping Sage's wall early. If they push here, awesome, the wall's there to help. If they don't push here, maybe the wall will draw out a player or draw out some utility. So let's see what happens. They pop the wall, Sage plays kind of slow there, and then loudly backs up. And now, because she loudly backs up, I'm assuming Omen probably called this out to his teammate, who then decides to peek this with an operator. And now you'll see there's 2 jets here peeking with operators. The smoke is about to fade. So on defense here, you either need to be confident in your ability to hit this shot, or you need to not be in a position where you're risking your life here because you're kind of untradeable. As the smoke fades, Shazam wins the fight, but they don't push yet. So there's something really important that happens here. They're gonna push here. Obviously, they've grouped up towards B main. Now the mid players showed some presence towards mid, and now they've fallen back to B main. As a spectator, I can see they're about to push B main. But if you watch closely here, they walked their way in here and then got pretty loud and smoked this off. Now, Cypher's pushing up A. This is the important part. He's pushing up while they're getting ready to push in B. So he's going to start making some noise over towards A, which is going to make those A players second guess whether or not they should be rotating. Whether that's him firing his gun, whether that's him, stomping around really loudly, whatever it might be, they're going to now turn back around and potentially walk back out towards this A ramp here. And so Cypher is going to be able to pick up a kill on this raise, and then if he's played it correctly, maybe hold this Sova back here. I don't want to skip too far ahead. As you can see, this Omen's picked up a kill here. This is really important. If he gets 2 or 3 kills, this is going to be a really hard round for the Sentinels to win, but the Sentinels have played this well. They've played it in such a way that they can trade each other if someone dies. The first person clears the corner, the second person can trade the kill. Now, Raze is going to die, and then you've got Sova and Cypher. Cypher is playing B Heaven. Sova is in A main. He's in screens. He has not pushed anything. He's got 0 information. He used a dart a little while ago, so it's probably still on cooldown, and he's way out of position. And the team Sentinels starts pushing out on B. Cypher on defense is able to pick up a kill onto Zombs, onto Omen, and actually get some position on the site. Now here's the problem is he's alone. He has no teammates to work with here, so he has to have one hell of a round if he wants to make this work. Unfortunately, he gets caught out by a Raze nade, takes a lot of damage, and then actually gets killed by Sage, even though he gets hit in the face by a rocket. And now this is really funny. Dapper on Cypher has done a really good job of keeping this Sova over towards A as long as possible. His lurks have been so effective that they don't know whether or not they should be rotating off to help their teammates. Raze ends up getting killed because of it. And now Sova's sitting over here wanting to pick up this kill and rotate really quick to help his teammates. His teammates all die, and Dapper's literally just throwing guns around the corner, probably laughing, keeping his attention. And now Dapper dies here, but it doesn't matter. Sova's out of the game. There's nothing he can do, and his economy sucks. So he's literally just going to take a gun and save. And that's all he can do. And now this is a huge round for the Sentinels, okay? Getting 6 on attack on split is amazing, first of all. And second of all, it really shows the weakness in the Immortals' defense of split. Watch how much map control the Sentinels gain on their default in the first 10 seconds of the round. So the round starts, they push mid, nobody's there showing any presence, so they now have mid control. They push A ramp a little bit and gain a little bit of control there, pretty much denying as much information as possible to the Immortals, taking out Sova's drone, not letting them see the cross, and then Sage throws an orb towards B main, guaranteeing B main control. At this point, the only thing they don't control is B Heaven, A Heaven, and both of the bomb sites. They control every other part of the map, which is typically a little bit easier for the attackers to get control of. But to successfully defend against the attackers, you need to take a little bit of control on this map so that you can get information in some way and know where they might be pushing to stop a push and win the round. And now Immortals don't do that. Sova uses his drone. He tags the Cypher, sees nobody else. He doesn't use a dart towards A main then. He doesn't move and use a dart towards mid. He doesn't have a dart for B main. They don't have a Cypher cam aggressively in mid. They don't have a Cypher cam aggressively in B main. They don't make a push. Okay, another thing they could have done, yeah, you have all these information gathering agents and abilities, but they also could have just pushed something. You know, Jet and Omen or Raze and Sova could have grouped up together and pushed something and traded each other and tried to get information or use their util to back some enemies off and gain some information that way and then escape. Whatever it might be, they needed to get a little information and a little bit of map control, and they didn't have that. They forfeited mid, so they have no idea when this push does come in, how many players are actually here. They don't know if 2-3 players are pushing B main. They know someone was towards A, they know a couple were in mid, and they know a couple were in B main. They don't know if they're going to push mid and push B main. Are they running a split? They have no information. They have no control of the map. And so that's what Immortals should have done to counter this type of play, is they need to gain some sort of map control or some sort of information advantage. If they had an aggressive Cypher cam in B main or in mid, and they were able to gain information like, hey, there's nobody here, we should probably rotate off and support this other part of the map, they could have won this round more successfully. Now, running a play like this in your own competitive matches, in your own custom lobbies, your custom scrims, whatever you might be doing, is really viable and useful, honestly. It's literally just running a default. Group up and have one lurker. Have 2 pairs of 2, push 2 different parts of the map, and then 1 lurker on a different part of the map, just to deny information or potentially gain a free frag if it comes down to it, or catch off rotators or hold them there. That's exactly what happened here. They pushed mid as a pair for information and control. They realized that mid was completely open and they had full control of it, and the enemy team had 0 information there. They use that to their advantage. They fall back to B main, they push together. The lurker towards A is able to deny information in multiple ways. He kills the drone and he throws out 2 cages, denying a lot of information. And then on top of that, he's able to hold the Raze and the Sova over at A, pick up a kill, stop the rotate, and allow his team to push onto B for free. To do something like this in your own matches, all you need to do is, like I said, have 2 sets of 2 group up and play together, push for information on different parts of the map and a little bit of control. Don't get overly aggressive. Don't throw your lives away. Showing presence all over the map, grouping up, and then pushing one part of the map is going to mean that the enemies are more spread out, right? If I show presence towards mid and they have no idea whether or not I'm still in mid, and then 4 or 5 people come flying out of B main, they're gonna be unexpecting of that. They're not gonna know that that's happening unless we literally announced that we are going to do it by being very loud. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you find it useful. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like and subscribe button for me. If you want to see some more gameplay and you want to watch it live or ask me any questions or talk more in depth about this kind of stuff, head on over to twitch.tv/BrianHudi and hit the follow button. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.
Did you see that goddamn Phoenix just triple?